This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How the devil are we? I just had to leave that up again there, if only for Melina. But you know, how are you feeling? If you're like me, you've still got a huge smile on your face. And I don't know when that smile will go, to be honest with you. It was a long time waiting for it, but it was well worth it, wasn't it? I think it was. What do you think? Well, what do we think? Hey, we've still got to be happy, haven't we? I hope I'm sounding all right. Apparently, I'm coming across a bit echoey, but hopefully, I'm sounding all right. Let me know. Melina, good evening. Thanks so much for joining. I've got a wave off Craig in the green room. I don't know whether he's trying to do a Mexican wave or he's saying I sound all right. Or hello, I'm here. Ivan, good evening from Sierra Leone. You're getting me live. Well, I tell you what, a bit of time over the weekend, I didn't actually feel live. I'll tell you. Yeah, the nasty drink, you know. Anyway, this is Leicester Till I Die. Good evening. How the devil are you? We are live on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Please give us a subscribe. We would love you forever. Facebook, the group, Leicester Till I Die. And if you're living on the Twitter sphere, it is at Leicester TID. We've got them again. We've just beat them, and we've got them again. And I tell you what, could have been better if the goalkeeper for Liverpool had stayed between the sticks. What the bloody hell was he doing up there, eh? Making it harder for us, that's what he was doing. Let's bring my chat chum in and say good evening, Craig.
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, everyone.
Am I still sounding like I'm sat in the toilet?
You're sounding a little bit like, you know, Rob Brydon when he does his man in a box. You're doing a very good impression of that.
Right. I don't know why.
No. Maybe you're just adding more talent. You're already my hero, Chris. So maybe you're just adding more talents to your repertoire. Can't hear you at all now, so that's even better. I guess I'm not sure if the world is listening to you, Chris, and it's only me that isn't.
No, I think it might be you. I'm going to put you on
better.
full screen. Do I sound normal or do I still sound echoey?
You still sound echoey, but it may just be me. If anyone else can comment, that would be great.
I'm going to say to you, you were there on Saturday. Before we get into because it's like round 2 coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Tell us. I'm going to put you on full screen while I have a little play. You tell us what
with
it
your speaker,
like.
I hope.
Hey, I'm not going to do that on camera, am I? Tell us what it was like to be there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure lots of you, some of you may have been there, but lots of you were watching at home on TV, and hopefully, surrounded with friends and loved ones or whatever. But being there was a privilege. I know there was one point, if anybody was watching on BT Sport, when I did walk by somebody doing some reporting and give a little cheeky glance to the camera. So I was told by a friend anyway. But it was just an amazing experience. Just being in a ground for the first thing was, and watching a football match was amazing. But what a great game to go back to. I was outside the Wembley about 3:30 or so. There was more Leicester fans, Chelsea fans. I think Chelsea fans turned up about with 10 minutes to go, because it's such a, they go there all the time. They're not really bothered anymore, I think. But at one point you could hear the noise starting to grow as the buses arrived and all the Leicester fans walked around towards Wembley, and the chants started up again. And there was a whole group outside the Sainsbury's that's right next to Wembley Stadium. And it was just constant singing of all Leicester songs. And it was what you'd missed, that noise, just being the energy that was created by all these fans. And that's before we even got in the ground. Getting in the ground, again, Chelsea were sort of almost invisible. And I've watched the game back since. And it was really interesting that I would say 90% of crowd shots were the Leicester end, because that's where it was all happening. Our fantastic owners once more had given everybody scarves and hats and made it a real carnival atmosphere. Whereas Chelsea, again, they've been there, I don't know, 5 out of the last 6 finals or something. I think they can be, these bigger clubs, shall we call them, that's how they want to be described, become a bit blasé getting to finals and things. But, first time in 52 years, we made the most of it. The lucky ones that were able to be there. And I really hope that came across on TV, that the atmosphere that was created by the Leicester fans did come across.
I don't think. I hope that sounds. Does that sound better?
Yeah, much better.
Really, yeah, I've got the wrong mic plugged in. Story in my life. My wife used to say that all the time. But yeah, watching it on telly, Mrs. Watching it on telly, I tell you what, it was like a home game, because we could only hear the Leicester. I mean, what songs Chelsea was singing, I don't know, but all we could hear was the Leicester fans.
Yeah, I mean, if MasterCard ever want to do one of those adverts again, ending with the tagline "priceless," being there was priceless. Yes. And I know there was a few people who didn't want to go because they were forced to go on coaches or whatever, but trust me, it was amazing. And I think at the time you could see how much the players enjoyed it, but looking back, I think that moment for the players and the staff and everybody was made more special by the fans being there. I mean, imagine lifting the trophy in an empty stadium. Yes, it's great that you've won the club. You've won the cup, but showing it to the fans, being there, the same way that I felt a little bit sorry for Liverpool when they finally won.
I was going to say, if you want to know how that feels, ask a Liverpool player.
Exactly. So the fact that the fans were there and it was that shared moment, coming back together, the team and the fans, it made it special for everyone. And as I say, I really hope that it came across on the TV. And when I watched it back, it seemed like it was just full of Leicester fans.
Yeah. Nice to see you got the shirt hung up behind you.
Indeed. Hopefully the winners one is on the way. So
is that? Yeah, I'm going to say, is that the T-shirt or the
yeah? That's
shirt
just the T. That's the pre. That's the aperitif. The winners one. The main course will be arriving in due course.
I think we've all ordered that, haven't we? I went
think so.
online and I was something like 700th in line to get into the shop.
I think the money we raise from that will pay for Yuri Tielemans' new contract.
And he deserves it. He deserves it. But you'll be able to have a before and after, you know.
Oh, well. Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, can I just say that there are, and I did invite a couple of Chelsea fans on tonight, but surprisingly, they've both gone very, very quiet. I don't know why. Don't know, you know, but I just say, you know, to put my my bullseye hat on, you know, behind Craig is what you could have won. You know?
Yes, indeed.
We're going to say good evening to David. Thanks for joining us, David. TM, yeah, I'm trying to forget I said this. Where you get what tattoo are you getting? Yeah, we'll worry about that next season. And what score did you predict, Craig?
Funnily enough, thank you very much for asking. I went for a 1-0.
Yeah, give him credit. It's the first one he's got right all season, I think, isn't it? It's got a worse record than Steve Lynix.
All I do is just wait till the important game comes along, Chris.
This is the one that matters.
Exactly.
Craig, I don't need encouragement for some reason. I don't know what about. What you encouraging me for?
Yeah.
David, again, was it true that you really couldn't hear the Chelsea fans chanting, but Leicester was overwhelmingly much louder? Could you hear them in the stadium?
Not a lot, and I think. Cheers, Stephen. Appreciate that. I think there's a video doing the rounds at the moment, which is of a Chelsea fan filming himself and his mates when they score.
Yeah.
If you want any idea of how loud the Leicester fans were, just listen to the end of that when that VAR decision is given. Yeah. Now, bearing in mind that's in the middle of the Chelsea fans and it went deadly silent, and you can hear the roar from the other end of the stadium when that decision came through. And I remember someone had put a caption on one of the videos where I saw that video. I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram, whatever. They said, if you look closely, you can just about see the moment the guy's heart breaks.
Somebody said there it was good to be back in the stadium. You haven't put your name on and you're not signed in, so we'll just have to call you Facebook user. I am afraid. I think, to be honest with you, Craig, let's just have a look at this again. It's a club one, this one. Great moments. I love that one of Maddison and Fofana at the end.
There was a moment, and I've tweeted Maddison. I know he gets God knows how many tweets or whatever a day, so he may not see it. But there was a moment. It was barely caught on camera. It was only caught on a long shot. Everyone who was at the game that I've spoken to didn't see it. But moments after the FA Cup was put on the plinth, Maddison walked up to it, peered into it, and then started doing his hair in the reflection. Now,
I didn't see that.
I mean, it's typical Maddison, but I just wanted I wanted to confirm it to make sure that I wasn't dreaming that. But it was typical Maddison, and it was a great moment. But the day was full of great moments.
Yeah, it was, and I've got to say, I thought afterwards, Tuchel, however you pronounce it, I can't pronounce it, but I thought he came across as a very bad loser, but I couldn't understand why, because normally before the winners get the medals, I mean, I know they couldn't go up this time, but normally, although I don't see why not, if they didn't have any fans in that bit, it would have been safe to. But anyway, they normally have the losers go up, but they didn't seem to sort of hand the losers medals out. But I know he made their players stop there for whatever he said. And the word he used was out of respect for Leicester, that we should watch them collect the trophy. And I thought, you know what? Credit to you. Total credit to you.
No, definitely. It's hard. There used to be a phrase, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. So it is hard to be sort of humble when you've had that. But what I would say, I think with the losers medal, the runners-up medals, I think they made the mistake of giving them to Daniel Amati to hand out. So, I'm not sure.
They didn't.
So that may be on the floor of the changing room with the pennant.
Yes. He got a bit of abuse about that, so we'll move on. Stephen has waited 137 years. That's almost as old as Craig, I'll tell you. Peter, over the moon I am, guys. You got to love these football sayings. You know.
Yeah.
David, totally agree with you here. The embrace between Brendan and Top was absolutely priceless. The emotion in both men's faces was really touching. He saw that about Maddison.
Oh, right.
What I saw. Top was in tears, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and I was sat there, and I was sat with my son, and I think I may have mentioned this yesterday to you, but I'm saying, "Come on down, Top. Come on down." You know, a bit like Brucey on The Price is Right. Come on down. You know, and then finally Casper, I think, probably went and got him in an arm lock and dragged him down, and then Ian Wright came out with the classic words, "I am so jealous of this club."
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm so pleased that Schmeichel went to get him. You know, he was probably reluctant because he's quite a shy guy, but those moments will stay with him forever. You know, of really feeling part of it, and it was noticeable that I watched the coverage of both at the end, and they all talked about Rio Ferdinand was saying the same thing. Those moments after we got the cup were so special and a complete antidote to everything that had gone before in terms of the ESL and the way that owners and fans of those so-called bigger clubs, the relationship that they've got. And this was a perfect antidote of everybody in the club from top to bottom. There was a great photo of all the backroom staff having their photo taken, and they were all together in that huddle, showing that it's not just the players on the pitch. The whole club comes together to form success.
He was jumping up and down with them, wasn't he? And they had the mosh. I mean, again, Schmeichel, he was in the middle of an interview, Casper, wasn't
he was.
Everybody. And I love the BT guy going, as he's dragged off, he goes, well, that's the end of the interview, I guess. You know, they're jumping up and down. And that's just, you know, it was literally 137 years of, you know, disappointment built up into that moment. And, David, you're saying there, his excuses were pathetic. It's hard not to feel hurt when you've lost, but the fact, as I say, to me, the fact that Tuchel made the team, his players stand there. I didn't see any of them actually congratulating the Leicester players. Maybe that was off camera or whatever, but the fact that they were there and they stayed on the pitch and they watched, and I have to give him respect for that. We're going to say hello to This Is Luca's Life. Hello, Luca. Arsenal fan there. Yep. Hey, you'll one day that will be you again. You will come back. Don't worry. Facebook use. Oh, it's good to be magnanimous when you've won, isn't it? You know, is that? I don't think I'm being magnanimous though. No. Facebook used the watched in Plymouth. I'm still celebrating, aren't we all? Stephen Collins, top slept with the cup Saturday night. I know Jamie Vardy slept with his medal on. Now, whether that was posed by Rebecca or not, I don't know. Yeah. Hi from Mad Jason. Now it's football, and Pete Hyde says from top to bottom. Just great times. And when I was taking the flags down after the game, because I'd got them all around. I got them here, and I'd got them in the lounge when I was watching the telly with my son. It was like taking the Christmas decorations down afterwards. You know?
Well, wouldn't it be nice if it was the same and you get to put them up each year, Chris?
Well, that would be very nice. I did actually once go out to buy a Christmas tree, and the guy said, "Oh, you're putting it up yourself?" I said, "No, in the lounge." But anyway, I said he should play.
May I draw your attention to the terms and conditions of Facebook, Chris?
Don't worry. Look, that was part one. We have part two coming up. As it happens, these things always work out, and we end up playing them again tomorrow night. I don't know if we've come. Well, we must have come home, I'm guessing, you know. But we're going to look ahead to tomorrow night's game straight after this.
Leicester Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Oh, yes, indeed. It's like I say, it's like never been away, really, isn't it? Having them back in down to the old Stamford Bridge. 8:15 tomorrow night for the TV. It's on BT Sport. It's also on Radio 5 Live. LCFC Radio, if you are outside the city boundaries and you want to listen to the ex-players giving their thoughts on the game, and BBC Radio Leicester. And I know a lot of you out there sort of aren't necessarily fans of BBC Radio Leicester, but Ian Stringer, I do believe, ran down to Wembley to raise money for a charity. So well done to him. He completed that. It's going to be a bit, Craig, isn't it? Like we've poked the dog, really.
It is. It's going to be a really tricky game, and much as I'd like to think we're going to get a result, and when we come to the predictions, it'll you'll find out whether I think we will. But I don't think most people would be surprised if we did get turned over, because they're going to be up for it. We'll be up for it, but it's difficult to play again so quickly, even though it is such an important game. And again, it's a real test of Brendan and the players' mentality to show that they really are a top team and can put that to bed very quickly. It was great that they all said that. They all said it in their post-match interviews. They can enjoy it. They were training again on Sunday, I think. So it's going to be a tough game. And you're right. It is like poking the beast, and we'll see what reaction we get from Chelsea.
I was trying to read this here about what will happen in Europe now, because it literally changes after every game. I mean, I don't know if you watch the West Bromwich Albion game against Liverpool.
Unfortunately, I watched quite a bit of it, and particularly the ending. Yeah,
I only saw the ending, and I've got to be honest. I'm thinking well done, West Brom. A draw is great. Yeah. I mean, for those of us that remember, it was up there with Jimmy Class at Carlisle, wasn't it? That one, But
it was. Apparently, it's the first header that any goalkeeper has scored in the Premier League.
And if you take aside the fact that it's Liverpool and your feelings towards Liverpool, Alisson as a guy has not had the best of years, and I can totally 100% sympathise with how he feels, and kind of thinking, well done, lad. And you could see when he was being interviewed after, it means so much for him. Well, apparently now, here we go. Manchester City clinched the title. Yeah, we know that. City will be joined in the Champions League group stage by Man United. That's guaranteed. The other two teams in the top four, and the other two teams will join them from the top four. If City win this season's Champions League or United win the Europa League, there is no extra European place for English clubs. If Chelsea win the Champions League but finish outside the top four, they will also qualify for the Champions League group stage. FA Cup winners Leicester City have already qualified for the Europa League group stage. They can still make the Champions League instead if they finish in the top four. The fifth place Premier League team. Are you following this? I'll be asking you questions afterwards.
You do that.
The fifth place. We're all sitting comfortably. Then I will begin. The fifth place Premier League team will also qualify to the Europa League group stage, as will the sixth place team, as Leicester can finish no lower than fifth. Manchester City's Carabao Cup final victory means that competition's Europa Conference League place, which is UEFA's new tournament, will revert to the league, going to the highest placed team not yet qualified for Europe. Chelsea and Liverpool could not finish lower than seventh, so are guaranteed the Europa Conference League place at worst. All that clear?
Yeah, I think you forgot to take away the number you first thought of, Chris.
I mean, it's like, what the hell? It's like, it used to be a simple game, this football, didn't it? But I mean, it's just, you need a degree in whatever, algebra or whatever, just to understand that.
It's going to be really interesting, because I would imagine, let's say we go to the last game, and if Spurs need points to finish in the Europa League, that's going to make it a lot more difficult for us, because they will definitely not want to finish 7th. I don't think anybody out of the so-called bigger teams want to be in that Europa Conference, because it's just more games, and your prize for it is a place in the Europa League next season. It's not even, it's not like you get into the Champions League. So I'm not sure how many people are going to actually want to be in that, to be honest.
No. Brett's trying to make. Oh, good evening, TM. Thanks for joining us. Not a Foxes fan. Who do you support, TM? Let us know. But I cried on Saturday. It was so emotional. We've become everybody's second team again, haven't we? We were during the Premier League win. I felt we lost it a little bit when Ranieri was sat. We've got it back now. Brett Ahern, he's tried to make it very simple here. Win tomorrow, and we're in the Champions League. I mean,
that's it.
What more incentive do you need? And I'm going to show you this, because I know you know I like my stats here, Craig. And we've got a Chelsea fan who's just commented, and he pretty much says this. We haven't lost to them. That's the last 5 league games, and we haven't lost to them.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to look at any more of these, to be honest, because I remember you bringing one up when we did the preview show, that we'd been beaten 7 times in a row in the FA Cup by Chelsea, and then we went and won. So I'm not sure I want to see that kind of graphic anymore, Chris.
Well, I mean, you can blame Ankit here for his comment, but yeah, it's true.
No, it's true. Yeah,
they haven't beaten us,
Yeah.
And thanks for your congratulations, Ankit. It was a great day. They are a different kettle of fish. They have got a manager now that knows what they're doing. But I saw nothing on Saturday that we had to be scared of.
No, not really. Not in general. They had a few moments, which they're bound to, because they've got some fantastic players. And as much as Yuri will get the all the plaudits for that amazing goal, I mean, there was a couple of great saves from Casper. The second one, hi Miss Melina. The second one from Casper will be up there with Jim Montgomery's save for Sunderland against Leeds. I think it was just phenomenal. It was a cup winning save. So, I thought we were pretty well matched, to be honest. I thought they carried a bit more threat. We didn't have a lot of attempts on goal. But I think we were managing the game as best we could. At the end of it, they were always going to start throwing everything at us. If it had gone to extra time, it would have been interesting, because they had virtually all of their attackers on the pitch, and we had all our defenders. So I'm not sure how it would have gone. But
a lot of people were saying that it was like, that was like, oh my god, no. Melina, good evening. Thank you very much for popping into Mod again.
Right.
I've got some breaking news from Melina, because she may not have heard, and she does like me to remind her. She says I must keep reminding her, Melina, we won the FA Cup, just in case you've forgotten.
But let's not forget, Chris, that Arsenal do still have an outside chance of getting into the Europa Conference League. So, all to play for there.
Go on, Melina, you can do it. What more incentive do you need? I'm actually talking of breaking news. She's got breaking news on Sky Sport. Harry Kane wants to leave Spurs. Is that I think we've kind of maybe known that for a while. He's been in talks with Man United, Man City, and Chelsea. Three obvious clubs if he wants to. I mean, he wants to win trophies, the guy, doesn't he? I mean, we compare Ben Chilwell, who left Leicester, to win trophies with Luke Thomas, but Luke Thomas has got more trophies as a 19-year-old than Harry Kane has for however long he's been playing around. And he's going to want to. I don't blame him at all for leaving. Daniel Levy's empire is crumbling around him.
I mean, I think it was inevitable. The fact that they haven't got Champions League, that's... there's no incentive for him to stay there. I think he's done as much as we can, and I think that talking of Spurs, I think that team is now in a rebuilding state, and they could be rebuilding for for a few years when teams go through it. You know, Manchester United had their years, and Liverpool struggled as well. So it'll be interesting to see who they go for as a manager. But, you know, obviously Bale will be gone. Kane goes. It's then whether the rest of them want to hang around. So it's going to be an interesting time for Spurs. But if they build correctly, they can consolidate that mid-table spot.
I actually said this to Melina, who is not a happy Arsenal fan at the moment, with what's going on. And I said, sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward. I mean, it does make me laugh that, and I'm not saying you here, TM, but generally, I've I've been on Arsenal channels and they're arguing amongst themselves, not Melina, I have to say, but other places where fans are arguing, and Spurs fans are all sort of, oh, woe is me, you know. But you know, you've not got relegated. You're still in the top half of the table. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes we wouldn't be. I don't honestly believe we would be where we are now if we hadn't gone down to the third tier.
Yeah. It's true. And, you know, I remember the years when, you know, when they were regularly challenging for the top four, what you always heard from Arsenal and Spurs fans was the most important thing was to finish above each other. So, you know, to be honest, that still exists. Whether you're 9th or 10th, one of you is going to finish above the other. So there's always that to play for.
This is very true. Terry says we're a confidence team and that will help for tomorrow. It will. We are going in, obviously, I say, on the back of a win. David S., what do you think about the potential of them changing formation and putting Reece James out wide and then putting Thomas maybe under more pressure and at the mercy of his speed and crossing? I thought Thomas had a good game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think they'll change formation. I think what they may do is change the personnel in the positions, because Tuchel came out and said Tuchel came out and said that he kept his formation, but he switched Azpilicueta and Reece James because he was worried about Vardy and he wanted that extra pace in the back three to deal with Vardy's threat. Yeah. So he can change that, you know, and he puts Reece James out and Azpilicueta. But then you've got to think that Vardy is going to look to exploit the space between Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta, neither of whom are the fastest. So he has a balancing act to do. And with regards to the sunbed, no, I'm just basking in the warm glow of an FA Cup victory, Rob.
He does. He's got that tan that you rub in. That's what it is, Rob. You know. And glad to see you drink a good drink there, Thatcher's. It's a good pint. It's a good pint. Stephen Collins. I mean, I think Chilwell will start. To be honest with you, I don't know. He changed it for Chelsea when he came on. He obviously. The first Casper save was from Chilwell. The goal, kind of, I'm not sure that it went in off him or Wes in the end, but, you know, he made the difference and he's probably got to start. 36 possession. Sorry?
I think him and Pulisic. I think I was very surprised that Pulisic didn't start. I think he's a fantastic player. And he can cause us a lot of troubles because he runs at you. And, you know, he tends to play down that side where Soyuncu is. So, you know, we know that Soyuncu can be a little bit erratic, so that could be interesting, to say the least.
Melina, nice to see fellow Foxes. She is, Melina is an honorary Fox fan. I don't care what she says. She tries to deny it, but she loves us Foxes. Tony, we should all go out. We should go all out tomorrow. It's easy for me to say. Get Champions League qualification, then party against Spurs. Do you know what? No disrespect to Spurs, but that's our home game. That's when we're going to have fans in the crowd. That's when they will parade the trophy, and it will happen to be in front of Spurs. It couldn't have worked out better that way, could it? You know.
And by all accounts, you know, if what Sky Sports are reporting is true, that's going to be Harry Kane's last appearance in a Spurs shirt. Yeah. So he can see what a trophy is about.
Yeah, this is what you might win. Now you're moving, you know. Yeah. I mean, the last game between us, we looked at the recent form, was of course yesterday the 1-0. Just in case anybody's forgotten, that was our last game. And it's funny how these things work out. I don't think we get a guard of honour, do we, for the FA Cup?
I don't think so, but somebody pointed something out to me yesterday, and I'm sure whether the viewers can check this out, whether it's true or not. But somebody said that Kunvichai was 63 when he died.
Yes, no, that is true. 63 when he died, and 63.
And the minute the goal went in was the 63rd minute.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because we've always hung on to this 60th minute, and we always sing in the 60th minute, don't we? But and that did make me stop and think. I've got to be honest with you. Let's just have a look here. Peter, I think Peter's getting a little bit excited here. We love you, miss. Yeah, well, Peter, you know.
Okay, you get banned.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Let's move on. We got rid of Stefan for similar. So let's not just be careful, Pete. No, Brett. Not saying we didn't have a good performance on Saturday, but we're due a performance in the league. Let's pray it's tomorrow night. Rory, good evening, Rory. Nice to have you along. Not seen you before. How are you doing? Don't forget to give us a bit of a subscribe if you are new. And like I say, I could be doing you a total injustice there, and you're not. But please get that little subscribe button in the bottom corner. A bit of a click for us. Were you out in Leicester this weekend? The scenes were mental. I don't live in Leicester. I've got to be honest with you. I'm on the south coast, but they were enjoying themselves at the KP, weren't they?
They were. I didn't go down because I didn't want to risk being mobbed by the 7 people who watch. So I sort of decided to stay in. But no, I did. I saw some of the pictures, and it did look mental. And it was good that the police decided to not get heavy-handed with it. I think the same up in Glasgow, although they've come down quite heavy on them and said a few people are going to get arrested on the back of that. But yeah, it was a moment to enjoy, and you can't really blame people for taking to the streets and enjoying the moment. Yes, yeah.
I think he's already been dealt with there. Hi, David. Hope your tears dry up now. Yeah, well, just about. I didn't know what to watch Sunday afternoon, so I just watched the whole game again. You know. He was, I thought he was 60 because we always did it in the 60th minute. I think what it is, would he have been 63 this year? Has it been maybe 3 years? I think that's what it was. I think he would have been 63 last year. What a difference will Chelsea fans abusing Vardy make tomorrow? I think he does. He does thrive on it, doesn't he? And before the game, there was an interview. Gary Lineker was interviewing Jamie Vardy, and he was saying about his celebrations, and all the others, and it was he likes his little dig at the crowd, and he was saying with the Palace one and the Eagle that he was taking some stick. I think it was over the misses, you know. Yeah.
And I mean, it's great, and you know, you get annoyed if the opposition do it, but it's that sort of banter that we've missed, you know. And I'm sure, you know, most people take it in the way it's meant, and that's what we love about football, you know.
I mean, it made me laugh that I was watching the BBC and the commentator was saying, you know, it's nice to hear fans booing. And it was, and it's so much better than the fake noise, you know. Stephen's asking here, are you going on Sunday?
Actually, I am. I've managed to get a ticket because I got my Wembley ticket through work. So I've managed to get a ticket for Sunday, and I've managed to get a ticket for my daughter as well, because she was the one who missed out going to Wembley. She's a season ticket holder, and it was terrible, to be honest. Walking out the door and leaving her sitting there all alone, and she was feeling a little bit sorry for herself, but she did watch it with friends and really enjoyed it. But she's really looking forward to going against Spurs and actually seeing the cup being paraded. So that'll be nice for her.
And Stephen, Craig is becoming our roving reporter. Did you not see him live from Wembley on the pre-match show? I mean, obviously, you know, we you're there to enjoy the occasion, but if you can ever pop on during the pre-match show, we'd love to see you down there and see the atmosphere and what have you.
I was when I came on, I was standing about 10 feet away from Andy King, who was down there with just some friends enjoying a beer, mixing in amongst all the Leicester fans like everyone else.
Well, why didn't you sort of, like they do with these reporters, go in and go, Andy, Leicester Till I Die TV, can I ask you a question? Oh, you've let me down there.
No, I thought I might, but then with social distancing, it was a bit much. I saw the Sky Sports guy down there as well. And I had a quick chat with him before, but they were very, very much on keeping socially distanced.
Yes, of course. Yes, yeah. Pete, I'm going to have to. I didn't cry. Was so happy. I'm a man. I think you'll find that you're a man if you actually cry when your club win the Premier League and when your club win the FA Cup after so many years because of Leicester. That's what makes you a man. That's what my real man cries. A wuss doesn't cry. No. You can't be a proper fan, Peter, if you didn't cry at that. That's all I'll say.
I'm going to let you off, Pete. We all celebrate in our own ways. The most emotional.
I'm not letting him off. He should have cried. He's not a true fan. I'm going to call him out.
Chris, we need the viewers. I was going to say that the most emotional period for me was sort of the 10 minutes after we scored, because you thought, obviously I thought this is going to be a tight game. The fact that we actually got our noses in front. There was that 10-minute period where it sort of hit you that the reality could happen and we could actually win the FA Cup and we were ahead. And that was the most emotional period for me. It was really difficult to keep any tears from going. And, I wasn't alone. I was surrounded by people at the end of the match as well who were just so emotional. It was this massive release, and I think a part of that was the fact that we were there in a stadium as well, enjoying football again.
Yeah, David Gamble agrees with me, dead right, Chris. I did. Pete, it's banter, mate. It was a laugh and a joke. Fan since you were 10. He's 15 now, though. Let's not. He just had a very hard life. If you look at his picture, Pete, we're jesting. We're jesting. He's 59. You can give me a year then, mate. You can give me a year on that. Enjoyed the day, Craig, and what a game to share with the family. Yep, it will be. It is all getting a little bit of squeaky arse time, isn't it? Because if you look at the table, yeah, it is like, oops,
it's Groundhog Day is what it is.
It is, isn't it? I just don't know what to say. I mean, we're 2 points ahead of Chelsea. Liverpool are coming with that late surge. They literally haven't got any games in hand now, which is a good thing. And they've got exactly the same goal difference as us.
Yeah. And obviously, if they win their next couple of games, they'll have a positive goal difference anyway. I think the disappointing thing with that last-minute header was the fact that they only need to win one game. If we lose both, one game is going to do it for them, and that's the disappointing thing. Without that Alisson header, they would have needed to win both games, but now one game could do them if we slip up in ours. But it shows you just how important the win, obviously, tomorrow. The most important thing, and I think Brendan will be that, is don't get beaten. Yes. Don't get beaten, and then it's in our own hands when we play Spurs.
It so is. I mean, West Ham, I don't know who they played. Was it Everton, or they drew, I believe, West Ham, didn't they? They didn't... was it Brighton?
I think it was Brighton. I think it was 1-1 with Brighton.
Yeah. But I'm just looking now. Leicester. So we've got Chelsea and Tottenham coming up, and on paper it does look the hardest. The hardest running. I mean, Tottenham. They did. They seem to be playing with that. Almost what I would call Shakespeare freedom. When Shakespeare took over and sort of got the dressing room back, and it seems that this guy, is it Mason? Ryan Mason, is that his name?
Yeah.
He seems to have got that feeling back into the club, and they are playing with a bit of freedom. And that's the worrying thing, I suppose.
It is, but I mean, it's almost like when Solskjaer went into Man United. There was nothing to lose, so they just went out and played free-flowing football.
Yes.
Now, though, they've had a good run. There is something to play for. There's a European spot to play for. So now comes a little bit of pressure. So it'll be interesting to see. And you never know how that news that's now breaking. I'm sure they would have liked to have kept that quiet about Harry Kane, but how that will affect the rest of the club, the rest of the team now, knowing that their talisman won't be there if they make Europe or whatever. So, there's a lot of dynamics go on, and mental dynamics around football teams, and it's all to play for, that's for sure.
Well, Chelsea have got obviously ourselves, and then they've got Aston Villa, who I believe
no gimme.
tried. Well, I mean, Villa haven't looked good. They tried to bring Grealish back, didn't they? And it didn't work out. Liverpool. I see Liverpool. I don't think you've got easy games here. They're away at Burnley, and that's not. I lived there for, I could say, 20 odd years, and that is a hard ground to go to and get a result.
Although it is, Leeds found it fairly easy at the weekend, coming away with a 4-0. But again. It'll be interesting. It'll be their game with fans in as well. So, I think they will want. That's the end of their season. They've got the fans back in. I can't imagine Sean Dyche being too happy with another subpar performance. So I would imagine they're going to say to upset it.
Yeah, I was going to say that Sean Dyche usually with his teams, if they've had a really bad loss, the team that follows it gets a bit stung. And Liverpool. Didn't look overly impressive against West Brom. West Brom had a goal that was ruled out, or it could have been a different game.
They could have easily won that West Brom.
They've then got Palace. Now this is. I was looking on. I was watching Match of the Day. I think it was the other night. Believe it or not, as you do when you've just won the FA Cup final, Melina. Watching Match of the Day, and she's going to hate me. She really is going to hate me. But Palace have got that. Roy Hodgson's leaving because we know Frank Lampard's going in at the new season, but they've got a lot of players that are out of contract. So there's a lot of players, and then none of them are particularly young. They're all sort of 29, 30-ish. So there's not going to be a queue of teams, to buy those players. So they're going to want to try and get contracts renewed. Frank's going to be watching if he's got any sense. I think that could be a difficult one for Liverpool as well.
I think so, and they've got history as well, haven't they? I mean, when Brendan was manager of Liverpool and they were going for the title, they were 3-0 up at Selhurst Park and ended up drawing 3-3.
Yes.
They have got previous. They are another team who are playing for nothing really, so they can go out and just express themselves. So no, I don't think that will be easy. I think they've got two difficult games.
And then Tottenham have got, obviously us on the last day, but before that they've got Villa.
Yeah.
Which, I'm just not sure about. Villa have kind of, it's a bit like me, on a first date. I peaked early. They seem to have done that. They always had that problem. They peaked very early. They had a really good start, and obviously without greed, there's no one-man team out there. But I think Villas are just about as close as you're ever going to get to that.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that Grealish will be playing some part in the next couple of games. And he's playing for a place in the Euros as well. So, I'm sure he's going to want to be on the pitch and he's going to want to show what he's made of. So hopefully going into that last game against Chelsea, he can put on a show.
West Ham have got West Brom, out West Brom, and they have got Southampton. And Southampton are hitting a bit of form again now, aren't they?
Again, nothing to play for. So, you're away with no pressure. You can just express yourself and enjoy the game. You can go one of two ways, can't it? You either you either just turn over, very easily, or you go out and show what you're really made of. And I think you saw that at the Palace game. I can't remember who they beat 3-2, didn't they? They came back and won 3-2 at the weekend. Just sort of shows you the integrity of the league, that nobody will roll over for anybody in this league, and there's no easy games.
Pete, did you know my ex-wife at all? Just wonder where you got that. Hubs is going 1-1. We'll come on to predictions in a second. Few games tomorrow night. 6 o'clock at Southampton Leeds or Man United Fulham. You've got a choice of that, both on the old Sky Sports. And then you've got Brighton Man City at 7 and Chelsea Leicester, obviously at 8:15. Tell you what, my eyes are going. I think I've hardly slept this last weekend, you know. Peter, don't push it now, mate. back down, Pete. Terry Payne, neither team we are playing will park the bus, which will help. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, we're not playing they've got things to play for, which means they've got to, come and attack us. Yeah.
True. I can say it's you just want it. You want it in our hands going into that Spurs game. We know Harry Kane's got an amazing record against us, but they are a little bit Jekyll and Hyde at the minute. They had they did have a great win at the weekend, but then the week before they lost 3-1 at Leeds. So they're not consistent. So I just want it to be in our hands with our fans in the stadium behind them. Just give us something to play for.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a quick break and then we'll be back right after this.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Well, you can get us, guys. Right. Going into the game. It's not a lot of difference in our form. We both lost one. Chelsea lost to Arsenal. Thanks, Arsenal. Thanks, Molina. That was a big help for us. I'm not gonna lie. I wore my red Leicester shirt and was cheering on Arsenal. Although, how a player, when he had an open goal and was gifted the opportunity, had to score via the post, I don't know, but we'll gloss over that. They beat Man City, they beat Fulham and West Ham, drew with Brighton. So there's frailties in that Chelsea side. Maybe that new manager peak has been and gone. We obviously, up to the cup final, we beat Man United. We had the Newcastle game, which that's going to live long in the memory, isn't it? Southampton, but it was 10 men. We beat Crystal Palace. We beat West Brom. There's not, there's not a fault between us, is there? Really?
There's not a lot, and Chelsea are not prolific in front of goal. I touch wood, goodness sake. Hopefully, I don't. Leave us open to that, but they're not. You saw in those last 5 games, I think there was only one game where they still scored more than one goal. But they're not prolific. They are tight at the back. It's just going to be another tight game, I think. And again, if we can nudge our noses in front, then it means that they have to come at us and leave more gaps. So it's going to be a tense one, that's for sure.
We both want to win it because there's so much on the line money-wise, because obviously the difference between Champions League and Europa League is well known, but financially, but they're going to want it that little bit more, which I think we can not sit back, but we can take our time. We can say, well, you want it, you come and get it. And like you say, that's what we like, when teams hit us, like that, we can get them back on the break.
I think the thing is, they need to win it. We want to win it. They need to win it, because if they don't win it, it's out of their hands. Every team would want it, their destiny in their own hands when it comes to the final game of the season. So they need to win it. Now that comes with its own pressure and may inhibit them a little bit. Whereas, a win for us, that's it. It's all over then. But even a draw is a great result for us. So, all the pressure's on them, to be honest.
Tell you what, Pete, I played it back. If you go on to the, if you didn't hear me on TalkSport 10 o'clock in the morning, about 10:15, it is on my YouTube channel, Leicester Till I Die TV now, under Leicester Till I Die TV away. And I'll be honest with you, I was half asleep and still hungover because on that one, they rang me. I'd obviously had a pre-match drink on the Friday night, shall we say, and well, it has to be done, really, doesn't it? And they rang me up at 10 o'clock and said, "Can you come on?" And I said, "Sure." Like, when? And they went like, "Now." We got. I went, oh. So they didn't catch me at my best, and I've had to turn them down twice. I was supposed to be on there now. I said, "Craig needs me in the show. I can't come on." So I've turned down TalkSport for you, Craig. Then
obviously, Chris, if you'd have put me up as a substitute, I would have turned them down too. Well, yeah. I know you're so truthful, and you would never ever lie. You know. Yeah, always happy to stand in for you, Chris. I mean, it's like I'm your body double anyway.
You poor man, if you're my body double, mate, you need to get help. You know, as I say, I've got the body of a god. It just happens to be Buddha. Yeah. Don't. Rob said he don't see Werner playing. They will come out all guns blazing. What do you think of the Chelsea man who's saying our goal was a fluke? Yeah, well, you know, it's. We'll move on quickly from that because I don't think you could describe. I mean, that was one of the great cup final goals of all time, wasn't it?
It was. And maybe let's do him the favour of saying it lost something in translation.
Yes, exactly. Right, it's that time of the show when we're going to see who Craig thinks will be pulling on the blue. No, we can't wear blue. I wonder if we'll be wearing purple again then. We've got to, haven't we? Yes. Yeah. I mean, don't put the white on, please, guys. Go out in the purple and say, "Look, we've beaten you in this once already."
You've got to be a certain type of athlete to pull off white, haven't you, Chris?
Yes, and I am. So you know, hey, it's just because it would look better on you with your, suntanned physique. Anyway, moving on. We'll be back after this with Craig's team selection.
It's that time in the show
where Craig thinks his Leicester starting 11.
Agree with him? Let us know.
I love the way that you say agree with him, let us know. That's why nobody lets you know, Chris, because no one does.
Exactly. I have yet to have anybody actually reply positively with that. No. But quickly, a couple of comments. All right, so we'll come back to the predictions after, because we're going to go on to the predictions in a second. So we're going to look at your team here. He said if he can find it. And couple of surprises in there, but not a huge surprise.
I think I've just tried to freshen it up a little bit, to be honest. Hi, Chris. Looking resplendent in white, virginal almost, which you probably are these days. So I've just decided to freshen it up a little bit in a couple of places. Ideally, I wouldn't be playing Castagna there. I would bring in Amati, but to play in the centre. However, I think he probably blotted his copybook with what he did with the Chelsea pennant, and if Brendan is being consistent in terms of holding people to certain standards, then he won't be playing anyway because of those actions. So I've put Castagna back there. I think Thomas deserves his spot. I think he's done really well the last few games.
Yeah,
he did really well at Wembley.
Yeah,
it stuck in, and obviously he got the assist for the goal as well. But I've made a change on the right. I think Pereira should come back in, Ricardo for that. Mark O'Brien did a great job. Nothing against Mark, but I just think 2 days later, some fresh legs. Pereira's had a rest. Hopefully he's chomping at the bit to show what he can do. He's got the Euros coming up as well, so I'm sure that he's wanting to show that he's fit and ready. So I just think a fit and raring Pereira coming down the wing back would be useful. And then I've made another change in midfield. So I've gone Ndidi, Tielemans, and I'm playing Pratt instead of Maddison or Perez, purely for the reason that I think Brenda will want to keep this tight. As I said before, a point is a very good result for us because it gives us the opportunity to beat Spurs and it puts it in our own hands. So I think his main thought process will be a win will be great, but don't get beaten. And I just think, again, fresh legs with Pratt, a little bit more defensively minded. Hopefully the wing backs can push on and make the extra men. But I think Tielemans, Pratt and Ndidi may be the best route to go down for this particular game, being just 2 days after the cup final.
I'd love to see Pratt, and I think he's a very underused player. But you've got three people vying for that position, Norman, haven't you? Perez, who Brendan likes, and, you know, I mean, he didn't do bad. He didn't, you know, had a reasonable game, and it wasn't a handball. I don't care what anybody says. You could not give that as a handball, and apparently because it was 7 seconds before the goal went in, it wasn't counted as part of the same play. Ricardo is the one that is intriguing me. Do you think he's fit enough? Because people are saying since he's come back, he's not looked the same player.
I don't think he has looked the same player, but he hasn't played for 2 or 3 games now. He was on the bench, so to me, if you're on the bench, you're fit. You know, although you could say that about Johnny Evans. You know, he was on the pitch and clearly not fully fit. But for me, if he's on the bench, then he's there because if he's needed, he can get on and do a job. And I just think, as I say, I think that because they're going to be coming at us, I just think the extra athleticism of Ricardo will do us more good in getting those quicker transitions. Because when the ball does turn over, we've got to be able to get up the pitch quicker for me, particularly if he plays those three, which I think there's every chance that he won't. He will play Maddison or Perez. But I think if he wants that sort of shield, then you're going to need the wing backs to get forward quickly. And nothing against Albrighton, but Ricardo, you know, is clearly an attacking threat when he's on his game.
Yes. And of course, you know, Pratt is, along with Castagna and Tielemans, in the Belgian squad.
Exactly, they're Belgian internationals. You know, there's no mugs, and I'm sure Pratt's been itching to get some game time. And I just think this could be the game. He's going to come into it fresh. And we are going to need some fresh legs, particularly if they're playing Pulisic from the start, which I think they will. Every chance that he'll play Havertz as well. So Havertz, Mount, and Pulisic sitting in front of our back. I think we're going to need some sort of athletes who are more defensively minded than either Perez or Maddison are.
Yeah. Brookline, good evening. Thanks for joining us. I missed the post FA Cup show. To be honest with you, Brookline, I'm not surprised because it was at 10:30, was it, on Sunday morning? And I think that's about 5:30, and if not even earlier in America. But again, go on to Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, and the show is there. And you can even see Craig with a certain headgear on that it is. I couldn't even start to describe it, to be honest with you. It has to be seen to be believed, you know. Right, we're going to come on to score predictions now. So Peter's gone 2-1 to City. Let's just go back up here. Steve Collins has gone 2-1 to the Foxes, and I'm glad you finally got the signed 1982 semi-final program from Steve Lynex. I know it was late coming. Thanks for bearing with us, and glad you got it. Hubs here has gone 1-1. Let us have your score predictions. I'm going with the same one that I went for the FA Cup, because I do believe that... somebody here, Brett's gone 3-1 Leicester. Wow. Okay. Confidence there, Brett. They are going to come at us. There's definitely no doubt about that. I haven't got all the ex-players' predictions in yet, so I'm going to have to... we're going to have to wait on those. But I'm going to go 2-1, which is what I went for, obviously, with the cup final. But honestly, I think they're going to come at us, and I can see them getting a goal. But I think there's so much at stake for Leicester, and we've got to think with Leicester, Chelsea, and those sort of teams. So they get it, the Champions League every year. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, it's Champions League. Where for us, we don't know whether we're going to be in the same position again next year. Hopefully we are, but I just think I think we will want this more.
Yeah. No, I hope so. It's a really, really tough one to predict this one. So yeah, I know I'm going to go for a 1-1. I'd love us to win, but I'd definitely want us to come away with something. So I'm going to go with a 1-1. And thanks for the big up there on the lineup. Thanks.
Even if you got your name wrong. So
yeah.
So Alan, how the devil are you, sir? If you do go on and watch the catch up version of the we don't have a +1 here, but if you do watch the catch up on Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, then you will see the lead singer of Show Waddy Waddy makes an appearance, or the ex-lead singer. Now, me and Craig know him, know that era very well, don't we?
We do indeed.
Under the Moon of Love, Little Bit of Soap, When, Hey Rock and Roll. Those are the days.
I think you were relegated to hero number 2 during that little moment that he came on the show there, Chris.
Was I? I'll take being number 2 to Dave Bartram every day of the week. I will. Don't worry. But actually, in fairness, Brookline did do that straight after, but I was, for comedic purposes, I didn't put it up.
Thanks, Brookline.
Sorry, Craig. Scott, good evening. Hi guys, great show as always. We'll say totally agree with Craig's lineup. Don't you give him ideas above his station. But Phil Ricardo offers the extra defensive skills, and maybe O'Brighton, i.e. tracking Chilwell runs, etc. That's because, of course, whoever's on that side will be, and I think will be playing Chilwell, and I think Chilwell after his performance. It will be interesting if he doesn't pick Chilwell again. Maybe that's sending a message out to Chilwell. I don't know. Yeah. Peter has gone he said he went 1-0 for the FA Cup final. 2-2 my prediction. Easy for me to say. Minimum needed is a draw for tomorrow. Pete, I love Show Waddy Waddy. Didn't we all, eh? All those drain pipes and blue crepe shoes. Now, Craig remembers them from the originally when they were out. I only remember them from the 70s.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Can I just say that there's actually very few bands from the 70s that I can admit to actually liking these days. So we Show Waddy Waddy. I'm safe with them. Well done, guys. And of course, Leicester as well. This is turning into the Show Waddy Waddy fan club. Craig is the hero. Oh,
thanks, Pete.
We're going to start a Craig's fan club. We'll set up a PO box. You can do it. And we'll get little badges made. We'll have some badges made like this, like Leicester Till I Die badges. We'll do some I Love Craig badges, and we'll get them made up. And it'll do a monthly newsletter. I wasn't going to have that many made, mate. I don't think you're going to be that popular. Yeah, you can do a monthly newsletter, and you can put a signed picture in there. This will all your fame will be your fame will spread beyond. You'll be doing Match of the Day soon, I'll tell you. Pete, I brought Hey Rock and Roll. Did not we all? Did what we know? What was the first? Do you remember the first? Hey Rock and Roll was the first big single. But remember what the first single ever was? The
first single ever?
Yes.
No, Chris, I'm going to have to bow down to your superior knowledge.
Don't know with the age thing, but no. Well, of course, a big Leicester thing, Trocadero.
Oh right, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Indeed.
I've no idea how it goes, but I believe was their first record. Which how did they become famous? Do you remember that?
Actually, no.
we have whatever you do. If you go on Mastermind, don't go on with Show Waddy Waddy as your new faces.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. The X Factor of its day.
It was indeed, yes.
With Nina Miskow playing the Simon Cowell baddie role,
And Tony Hatch, I think, was on there as well.
Tony
and Mickey
Hatch.
Mouse. Yeah.
Oh, Mickey Mouse. Now, Mickey Mouse, he was big in the 70s. He owned Racked Records. But
he did, yeah. Can you remember the presenter, though?
Sorry?
Can you remember the presenter?
Derek somebody, wasn't it? Because he was on Central. It was a Central TV thing. Oh, that might not have been. Was it Derek somebody? I can see him. Hobson, yeah. I was half right. Okay, then. Seeing as we're doing this this musical down memory lane musical special, Tony Hatch. What theme song was he famous for? What theme song did he write?
Did he not write the EastEnders theme?
No, you're in the right ballpark. I've got to say for you there, but Crossroads.
Crossroads, of course, it was Crossroads. Him and his wife, good lady wife, Jackie Trent, I think.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Welcome to all our yesterdays.
Like pop quiz. Here we go. I think I'm running out of new faces related questions now. So thank God we've got some comments. We were going to keep you talking then until we got some comments coming up. After losing 2 in a row to Leicester City, well, we'll wait and see because he hasn't yet, but we'll wait and see what it's like tomorrow night. He doesn't look happy even when he wins. It looks like he's chewing a wasp, doesn't he?
You know very well that you know how these so-called big clubs work. If he loses the cup, loses the Champions League, and fails to make the top 4, there will be calls for his head from the Chelsea fans.
Yes. And Abramovich will probably do it as well.
Yeah.
David Gamble, Baileys. Whoa, yes.
Oh, wow.
Come on now. Don't tell me you haven't been down Baileys, Craig.
You know what? I never did. My dad used to go there regularly, but I never went. My dad used to go there regularly. I had a first date with a girl called Debbie, who I really, really fancied. And we went and saw Freddie Starr down there, which was probably totally the wrong show to go and see on your first date. But was it your last date as well with Debbie?
I think I had one more, but it didn't last long. I think it sort of sowed the seeds of doubt in her mind.
Didn't she emigrate and go to Dallas?
Dallas? You've lost me now.
I'm sure Debbie did Dallas.
To be honest with you, I'll bow down to your superior knowledge on that one because, wink, I have no idea what you're talking about. Hey, there's a football game breaking out in the middle of all this history. Our field sources say Vardy will score the first, second goal. We'll score first. Second goal will come after. Right, Philip, stop using words like that. We don't need. Whether we call them that or not, you're going on a timeout there.
You almost had a Ron Burgundy moment then, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. He did one earlier that said that, and I didn't actually produce it, and I didn't read that fully. I was thinking of Debbie doing Dallas when it came up. New faces, yes, it was. Crossroads, yes, it was. Matthew Bond, better late than never. Late to the party. Well, you've missed all the exciting talk about Show Waddy Waddy, Baileys, and Crossroads. But whenever I always want to say Show Waddy Waddy in the Jimmy Savile voice.
I know.
It's in your mind, isn't it,
Chris? We're both fighting it.
We are. We so are, But that's I don't know what the comedian's called, but that's his entire act gone out the window now, isn't it? Yeah, just parked up at Doncaster. Are you going to the races, mate? Stephen Collins here was us two are brilliant. Apparently, we are the.
Thanks,
thank you very much. Yes, indeed, we are the Morecambe Wise of our day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say Morecambe Wise rather than Cannon and Ball because I think Morecambe Wise were the better ones. Although some, of course, might say Hinge and Bracket.
More like the two Ronnies, I reckon.
Well, like I say, hinge and bracket, and if we get a third one, we can make the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on now, Chris.
Moving on. I did go into a record shop once. I said, "Have you got anything by the doors?" And he went, "Yeah, fire extinguisher." But anyway, yeah, I think I have peaked here now. Then, Pete. Yes, I think I have. Someone here, great minds, Craig. Yeah, CG. You and who? You and who? Naughty Craig, you're getting told off here. Although there was just a sidetrack here, and I do have somebody that helps me out a lot in Facebook that used to work at the club, and I'm not going to name names, but he does give me a bit of information. And apparently there was, when Leicester in the 70s used to have the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And there was one of those actually went on to be a really big porn star in America.
All right. Okay.
You
have your contacts, Chris.
I know. I don't know whether they're the right contacts or not. Brookline here says what happens in Dallas stays in Dallas. I always thought whatever happened in Dallas, it was a dream. I'll tell you. Pete High says the two Ronnies. Matthew Bond says. Too old for me, chaps. I'm just a child. Yeah, right. You remember Tommy? Is it Tommy Adler with the old harmon? I don't know. Craig, you beat me to it. We're just going to say two Ronnies. Hinge and bracket. Melina here coming in back. Melina's probably sat there going, "What the hell have I come back to?" When I left, they were talking football. Now they're talking hinge and bracket, porn films in Dallas, and two Ronnies.
We're still giddy on our FA Cup win.
This is it. Craig, I'm never going to hear the end of you guys winning the FA Cup. I told her. She said earlier, Miss Molina, she said that when Arsenal won it last year, they celebrated for a day and that was it. And I said, feck off. I went, there's no way we're enjoying this,
We'll shut up about it when you win it again. So that should give us a good 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, Craig. Put the bowl of milk away. That's all I'll say. Falcon's Crest. Was it Falcon's Crest?
Was what Falcon's Crest?
There was I know there was. I had a wife at that time, believe it or not, who was a huge Dallas fan. I remember one day we went for a walk to play tennis. It was about a 15-minute walk, and halfway, and this is how long ago it was. She realised that she hadn't set the VCR. My God, do you remember those days? Yeah. So I had to run all the way back to record, to press the record button on the VCR so that when we got back from tennis, she could watch it. Needless to say, she won the tennis match because I was absolutely knackered. But I know there was Dynasty or Dynasty, whatever it was. And there was a third one. Was it? I don't think it was Falcon's Crest.
Yeah, I think Falcon's Crest was like the I'm not going to say the poor man's version of it, Brett, because that would do you a disservice. But I think it was the latecomer to Dynasty in Dallas. Dynasty in Dallas.
You've been drinking, haven't you?
I wish I had that excuse, Chris.
Yeah. You're just giddy on life, aren't you?
I am.
It was Falcon's Crest. An American primetime television soap opera that aired for 9 seasons from 1981 to 1990. Well, Brett, we bow to your superior knowledge, and I'm still surprised you've got as many viewers still with us as we have. All my yesterdays. We're gonna have to do. I'll tell you what we can do, because we're looking at themes for if anybody's got any ideas, because of course this time next week it will all be over. The season will be over. And just to say, I am not going to be doing any Euro shows because I'm really, really not bothered for Scott, shut up. Stop mentioning that. He keeps reminding me that I actually said this. When is your announcement towards your tattoo? it's coming. It's coming. All right,
Maybe we should challenge the viewers to come up with a design, Chris.
No, we shouldn't. No. I know. I can see what these comments are that coming up, and the ones that don't allow. We're not having that at all. But I know Craig's having a think, and Brad is as well, and I'll speak to Josh, and we have got sort of ideas for sort of shows that we're going to do during the summer, because we're still going to do shows. You're not going to get rid of us. We'll maybe have a week off and relax, and try and remember which one's the wife and what have you. Great, but and I'm definitely not doing any England shows because I'm really not too bothered about that, but. If you've got any ideas about shows, then please, let us know. But we could have a Desert Island Discs for the presenters, couldn't we?
We could indeed.
I don't know if YouTube would allow it or not, though. That's the only thing. Yeah, no. We'd have to actually pay money for that one, and that will never happen. Matthew says Eurovision show that's coming next week, I think, isn't it? It's back this year, and
it is indeed.
I've got to be honest with you. I used to love the Eurovision.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, Bucks Fizz. I've met them. Making your mind up. My wife loved Bucks Fizz. That's why I met them one time. Katrina and the Waves. Here we go again, down. That was when we were good at it, wasn't it? That's when people liked us and voted us.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was the end of it then, wasn't it? After Katrina and the Waves.
It was. It all started voting for the neighbours. But actually, our entry this year is really good.
It's not bad at all, but it won't make any difference.
No,
because no one likes us.
No, we're only getting the final because we pay enough money. There's like four of us, isn't there? They get in the final every year,
Yeah, I mean, what kind of concept is that? That if you pay enough, you get into something that you can't get relegated out of. What a horrific concept.
It kind of sounds familiar, but I can't think what it is. Rich says we would have to sing them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Let's not go down that far. David says quiz shows. We have thought about this, but
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, we may do.
Craig
is our quiz master. He's the one with the questions, and he supported them long enough to know the answers. Richard said it doesn't matter. Well, we only get a few points. To be honest with you, it's a bit like Arsenal in the Premier League this season, isn't it? Boom! What can I say? Craig, it's been a pleasure as always, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone.
We've got more viewers now than when we talk football.
Word gets around.
It is. I can see what you guys want us to talk about. Crossroads, Eurovision, Dallas. We'll keep on. I'm up in my viewing figures here. Carry on talking, Craig. So, 1-1 for you. Will a draw? Getting back to football very, very quickly. Is a draw going to be good enough for us tomorrow?
I'll take it, as I say, because the main thing is go into the last game with our destiny in our own hands, and a draw will do that. I'd love a win, but I'll take a draw.
Yeah. Wouldn't we all? Craig, thanks very much, mate. I'll see you. Is it Friday? I will see you again before the match on Sunday.
I think it probably is.
Yes, I think it is. You're seeing me more than your wife at the moment.
Yeah, it's funny because she's not complaining.
Who knew? Peter says Debbie does Dallas all day long. she obviously she had stamina then, didn't she? That's all I can say to that. We've got to get back. Lots of laughs today. Thank you, David. Much appreciated. Usual. A draw means we must win versus Spurs, though. Spurs, I think we're going to say, is the easier one, isn't it? Bronze Plumber, thanks very much for popping in. Russia and the satellite states were grouped together for a win, and I think we're back to Eurovision there. So on that note, Craig, thanks very much, mate. 7 o'clock on Friday for the Spurs preview, and we will see you then. Thank you very much, mate. Take care.
Chris. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Well, that show went off at a bit of a different angle, didn't it? You know, so we ended up with more viewers when we were talking about porn, Eurovision, and Crossroads than we did when we were talking football. I think we're just all on a total high from the weekend. I know I am. Guys, thanks very much. Matthew, thanks for your comment there. 3 points tomorrow, indeed. Let's hope so. Hope you enjoyed the show, guys. Like I say, I did go off at a bit of a tangent. I always said I was never ever going to do that on air, and you just sort of went with it. I don't care this week, to be honest with you. I really don't. It's we're on such a high. 137 years, guys, of history. We broke it. FA Cup winners. Can we do the double over? Well, we've already beaten them, so we've already technically done the double over Chelsea. Can we do the treble? That is the question. Can we do the treble? This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Thanks so much for watching in. Don't forget to give us a subscribe on YouTube. It would really help us. We are trying to build the channel. Leicester Till I Die TV. Press that little subscribe button in the corner there, and we would love you forever. And if you want to listen to this again, and why wouldn't you? With the topics we covered today, it'll probably be my most listened to podcast. You can get us on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, to name but two. Guys, thanks very much. It wouldn't be the same without you. As silly as it's been a laugh. Thanks very much for joining us. Now, this week we are going to have some shows, and I'll tell you when they are, and I've written them down and I can't find them now. Indeed, I can now. Tuesday, tomorrow, 7:25, we are having the pre-match show. There'll be me and Josh. We'll see what team and how many changes Brendan makes. Has he been listening to Craig? Probably not, because who does? Yeah, I saw that, Craig, you know. And 10:20 for the post-match show with me and Brad. Let's hope we'll be celebrating 3 more points. And on Wednesday, we're doing something new. We're going to pilot it for the last weekend of the football season, getting ready to do it next season. We're going to sort of have a chat about all the games and try and predict some scores and see how we do. Guys, give us that subscribe. Thank you very much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all tomorrow night at 7:25 with Josh, when we will be looking at the team for the Chelsea game. We need the treble. Good night, everybody.
Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.